right, y'all, we are going to dig into market research even a little bit deeper today. If you missed the last episode, we broke down 6 lies about market research that I want you to kick in the teeth. So if you missed that episode, go back and listen to it because it's going to help you approach your market research in a much less intimidating way, because most business owners are pretty intimidated by market research, and I don't want you to be. So after you've listened to that episode, come back and listen and be prepared to take notes, because we're digging into what to look for in market research and what really doesn't matter. Okay? Okay. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing. Do you want to grow your business with sustainable traffic sources? Have you heard about the power of search engine optimization and you want to take advantage of it to get more traffic, more eyeballs on your business? But when it comes down to it, does SEO feel complicated and hard to implement? Are you tired of wondering what in the heck to do with your website to get more traffic and more leads knocking on your door? What if I could tell you that there was a simple, proven system for using SEO, blogging, and copywriting to get leads from your website, and not just any leads, high converting leads? Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, wife, mama, copywriter, SEO strategist, and barrel racer. And for the last 8 years, I've been figuring out what works and what doesn't work in the world of online marketing to get organic traffic. And now I'm here to share all the things I'm learning in the trenches of SEO, copywriting, and content marketing. How does 300%, 500%, or even 12,000% more traffic in a year sound? What could your business do with that kind of traffic increase? How many more people could you help? So listen in and prepare to take notes. I'm about to drop simple, actionable SEO marketing and copywriting tips, all with a heavy dose of Jesus-loving encouragement. Let's get you more traffic and more leads so you can help more people with your God-given gifts. So one of the things I want to talk about today, / the main thing, is what to look for in market research and what doesn't matter. Because before I get into how to actually do the market research and give you some sample questions, like I will in the next episode, but before I get into that, I want to really teach you the heart behind market research and what you should be looking for. So I was reminded of this as I sat down to record, but when I was in Bible college, one of my favorite professors said, the most important thing you can learn from somebody is how they think. And I think that applies to, our spiritual walk and life in general, and certainly our business. But if we can kind of get inside somebody's head that's ahead of us, or maybe just, adjacent to us, if we can learn how they think instead of just their thoughts, if we can learn their thought process, then y'all, we can gain so much and we can go so much further, so much faster. So that is my heart for this episode for you today, is I want to kind of give you a peek into my brain and how I think about market research. And I truly believe that that'll help you. So what are you looking for when you do market research? Well, ultimately, you are trying to understand that person's heart and how to serve them. Now, you have a God-given gift. I have a God-given gift. Your ideal clients have their God-given gifts, right? And we all have things that we are, struggling with, or problems that we're trying to solve, or things that we're trying to overcome, right? Whether that is how to get my kids to nap better, or how to stay caught up on laundry, or, how to fit food into my day, like whatever those problems are, right? They don't have to be like earth-shattering problems, but your product or your service is ultimately solving a problem, right? Right. But what you need to do is you need to figure out, okay, what is motivating this person? What is their heart? Why do they make purchases? How do I speak to their pain points in a way that they can hear it, right? And they will associate my product or service as a solution to those pain points, okay? No big deal, right? But here's some key things that you're actually trying to find out. Now, instead of segmenting everything into people that have purchased or people that haven't purchased, we're just going to talk about it all in one, okay? And instead of segmenting into, products that are existing or research for future products. We're just going to lump it all together because ain't nobody got time to listen to 500 episodes about market research, okay? But here are some of the key things that you are actually trying to find out. Number one, I want you to find out why people bought or didn't buy. This can be huge. And again, this goes back to, you've got to be able to ask this question from a place of, you are loved by God, right? And your worth is not tied into whether somebody bought or didn't buy whatever you're selling, okay? You need to be able to honestly ask and honestly understand why somebody bought or didn't buy. Now, yes, there's a whole portion of sales psychology that's like, oh, well, there's always the money if people, really want it, which I understand people's rationale there to a degree, right? But I'm one of those that I'm like, listen, that paperclip shouldn't cost $500. It's a paperclip, right? The value, the market value has to be there on that thing, okay? So maybe somebody didn't buy because it's not priced right, and that's okay. You need to be able to hear that, all right? But while you're doing your market research, I need you to be listening for why people bought or didn't buy. Or if you haven't actually released your product yet, what they have bought that actually fits within your line of products or services, right? Like what have they actually spent cold hard cash on before, okay? The next thing that I want you to really try to understand is obviously general demographics. Like you need to know, is my ideal client an 18-year-old just out of high school, single female, or is my ideal client a 60-year-old retired teacher, right? Like vast difference in how you're going to market. You need to understand your general demographics, okay? And last but not least, I want you to really try to understand who they are as a person, right? Get to know them. And this is one of the reasons why I am such a huge proponent of actually doing calls for market research, not just surveys, because you're going to get to actually sit, air quotes, face to face on a Zoom call with somebody and get to see their facial expressions, get to see them react when you ask them questions, okay? You're going to get to figure out and ask follow-up questions that maybe you wouldn't be able to ask in a survey. And I want you to try to just take a step back and not look at your market research as like a checklist item, like, oop, done. And instead look at it as a way to serve that person better, which means that it might take more than 5 minutes, and that's okay, right? I want you to try to find out their pain points, not just as it relates to exactly what you sell and do, but maybe even some broader things, like what's hard in their day, what's hard in their job, like what feels really impossible right now. Like really dig in and get to know them as a person, okay? And then for people that have already bought your products, I want you to find out like how are they actually using it? If you have a course that is 87,000 modules, are they actually doing all of those? No, they're not. What are they doing? Okay. Now, again, don't attach your worth to the responses. Okay. You are loved by the Most High God, regardless of what your market research shows you. Okay. Regardless of what holes you find in your marketing and your product. Okay. But find out how are people actually using your products. Are they using it like the instructions say, or do they find a better way to use it, right? Maybe they're cherry picking little bits and pieces of your product or your services, and that's what's helpful to them. Find out, okay? Maybe you think you're teaching somebody one thing, but really you're teaching them something entirely different that's actually easier to market or more valuable, okay? And then ask what they have found most helpful or useful, okay? Okay. Now I want to chat a little bit about the difference between helpful feedback and noise, because with market research and with the multiple times that I've done market research, there is some noise, right? I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but sometimes a lot of people want to be like, oh, just post in Facebook groups and ask questions. Well, that's cool. But are the people in that XYZ Facebook group, are they actually your ideal audience? And if not, that's okay. But you probably don't want to spend a whole lot of time there, okay? And sometimes the noise comes in the form of people who they're not actually ready to buy. They're not, and that's okay, right? There's all things that we're interested in that we're not necessarily ready to buy right now, right? That doesn't make us bad people. It just means that that person is not actually your ideal client, and that's fine. Okay, so you kind of need to filter your feedback and filter your market research through that lens. Is this person truly an ideal client? Are they an ideal client in the future? Are they an ideal client now? Like, where are they on that spectrum? And then you need to take that into consideration when you weigh the importance of their feedback, right? Like for example, for an online business owner who hasn't even, for an aspiring online business owner who hasn't even come up with the idea for their business yet, like they might tell me that, oh my gosh, your copywriting is so great. I want to hire you. But if they don't have a business yet, or they don't have any money to start their business, then they're not my ideal client yet. And that's fine, right? So I'm not going to put as much weight on their responses as I would on somebody that's, truly my ideal client, been in business for a while, has a budget, they're clear on their messaging. So think through that when you decide if something is just really, truly helpful feedback or just noise. All right, now stay tuned, because next week, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you don't miss. Next week, I'm going to dig into how to actually do market research and actually walk you through some of the market research starter questions that I give to website copy clients when we start working together, because I make sure they do market research because it's so important for their website copy. So make sure you're subscribed and you're here for next week. And until then, y'all, love you, and we'll chat soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend, and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting, can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.